Okay, I had a request for my hollowing bar support that I built, and I use it with my 3/4 inch bar most of the time. The others are, I can handle as deep as I would go. I made this out of 3 pieces of 1 inch thick oak, 2.5 inches wide. The threaded rod is 14 inches long, and it's 1 inch threaded rod with the nuts to go with it, which, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 nuts, washers. And what I did is, for the 2 upper ones that are basically where the bar rides, I used whatever I had to hand to shim on each side so that I could have, not real tight, you got to be able to move the bar easy enough so that you aren't getting catches trying to jerk it around. What it does is, when you get way past the tool rest, you've got so much pressure coming down on the end of that tool, and you're supposed to take the distance past the tool rest and multiply it by either 4 or 5. I would recommend 5 for any tool. So if you're going to go 6 inches past the tool rest, you want a 30-inch handle. That is to help you control leverage. Turn this stupid light out here. So in this case, where I'm going to handle my bar the old way, I'm going to be going 9.5, 9 3/4 inches past the tool rest. Okay, well, that handle, let's see, 5 times 9, 45. You're talking a 4-foot long handle on a bar that's already 4 foot. So you've got 8 foot worth of tool that you're trying to handle out here, and that gets a little rough in most shops. You just don't have the room. So this basically traps the tool so that as the pressure is being put down on the cutting point, this upper cross member is taking the pressure, not your arm, not your shoulder. Before I started using it, and I was just using a tool rest, I'd be out here 2 or 3 hours hollowing, and I had trouble picking up my wine glass that night. Gee, I wonder why. My arm and shoulder hurt like the blazes. So I started studying and looking at what other people had done and come up with this to fit my lathe. Now it's just held in place by a flat piece of metal in the guide ways down here, where it slides in, a 3/8 bolt. It's got a 3/4 wide, 1/2 inch thick piece of oak, just more or less to keep it centered on the lathe. I mean, keeps it from wiggling around at an angle, which you wouldn't want really, unless you plan on going around corners somehow. But they're easy to build. I mean, it's just, you just stack all 3 pieces of wood, you drill your 1-inch holes on each end, and you start your assembly. And like I said, this bar, bottom bar, let me get the camera on here, this bottom support, the top of it, you want level with the tool rest top. This tool rest is set so that your tool is cutting its center where they're supposed to be. I'm using cup carbides 12 millimeter. I'm supposed to be cutting its center, so I set this tool rest to where it cuts center. It lays perfectly, it's level coming off the tool rest to this bar. Then this is adjusted so that it doesn't pinch, but it does control the bar when the heavy pressure hits. And it will hit, even on something as soft as this white cedar. You get 9 inches in, and you hit one of them little dinky rotten knots. Yeah, without some kind of extra help. I've caught that 4-foot bar. I caught it in the jaw a couple of times. You'd swear Muhammad Ali was sneaking up on you and laying you out. It hurt. But that's how you build these. They're very simple, just very, very simple. I'll be able to shut this off, and when I start it back up, I'll demonstrate how I use the tool with this support system, hollowing that deep. I've already, see if I can get it in there without blurring everything out. Okay, I've already been at work on this earlier. Yeah, that thing so blooming bright you can't see in there. There it is. Get down closer. I've already been at work earlier. I used a 1/2-inch spindle gouge, long and strong, to drill the hole as deep as I wanted to go. And then I've been using my long and strong bowl gouges with 40-some inch handles. And I've been getting the opening all cut and everything, and then opened it up so I can easily demonstrate the tool. And hopefully I can get the camera set up so that you can see it inside while I'm cutting. I hope. So we'll see what happens here when I get the tripod set up, and we'll see what we can come up with. Okay. I've got it all set up. The bar slides in there as so. Now when you start up, of course, you don't want it jammed in the end down there, otherwise you're going to get some exciting stuff. So you're probably not going to hear, I'm going to try and speak over it, but just in case, if there's any questions you can ask me later. I'll be close to the camera, so hopefully my big mouth will be able to hear it. I'm just going to go ahead and use the hollow bar and start cutting on the inside. The RPMs, it'll be 750. And yes, I am wearing specialty gloves. These are gel gloves to protect my hands against vibration. If you had my arthritis, you'd understand. I'm right at 8 inches deep right now, and I'm going by marks, 1-inch marks I've got on the bar to the top of the tool rest. I'm right at 8 inches, and this tool will drill a hole if you want it to. You don't like it, but See, I'm able to move the tool just like you would on any other turning, because I'm not having to fight that downward pressure from all the leverage that spinning piece of wood is putting on that carbide. Okay, I just hit 9. I have to be careful I don't make a funnel. Which, believe it or not, I have never made one, so I'm not in a hurry to join that club. That's the tool rest you hear rattling. They don't like this. I'm cutting with the cutter horizontal. I'm not angling it down for a softer cut. I've got it straight up so I can hog out this cedar as fast as possible. It's really hard to get a light in there without drowning the whole picture out. Blow that out. It's starting to grab the tool. Well, you can probably see the shavings in there. Yeah, these bars with the cup carbides, they build up a large amount in a hurry. Okay, I'm at 9. What did I have it marked at? Oh, here's mine. Right there. So yeah, I have an inch to go, so I'll have to go 10. Okay, that's 10 inches right there. Yep, 10 inches. So, if you were doing that without a support, you would probably lose track of your number of catches you've had. Just trying to get partial light in there. But saves a lot of your strength, takes a lot of the pressure off. So at 10 inches, you would need a minimum 50-inch handle if you were going to do this without the extra support. My long and strong bowl gouges that I will finish this with, the one is 40, either 42 or 44 inches long, and the other one's 40. Then I have one gouge that's got a 36-inch handle. The 36-inch one was what I was using right here when I was setting the opening. But they're not none of this is hard to build. It may seem like amazing engineering. It's not. I've worked around machinery all my life, and many times had to do repairs with wood and stuff that normally should have had metal. So I know how strong the wood can be if it's put together properly. That's why I designed and built my own lathe. I knew I could do it. I'd worked on wooden lathes, metal and wood, since I was a kid. Some of them from the early 1800s. Originally it had flat belt drive and had been converted to V-belts with electric horsepower motors. And I was always amazed by the fact that the wood could take the pounding, especially us morons, the way we were abusing the equipment, but it took it well. So that's the support and showing how it is set up and used. Now the bar itself is 3/4 inch cold rolled steel. I'll turn my light back on. There we go. Goodness. I took an angle grinder with a grinding disc and for about 6 inches tapered it down so that when I mounted my 12mm carbide, it's sticking out about 1 millimeter on each side and about 1.5 in front. And I just had cut a notch and drilled and tapped a hole for an 832 Phillips flathead screwdriver, or Phillips flathead screw, to hold it in place. I buy the carbides from AZ Carbide. I like his. I've used him for a long time on a lot of my tools. As you can see, I've got this thing marked out to 15 inches. Freehand, I've had this to 12. I can go 15 with the armrest attachment, which is a armrest support handle for the Sorby slicer, which is now discontinued to my disgust. Sorby seems to be cutting back on a lot of good stuff they shouldn't. But I managed to get one of these and one of the slicers before they disappeared off the planet. This will fit this bar since it's 3/4 and the slicer is a 3/4. So I can switch these back and forth. With this armrest on this bar, I can go 15 inches. Starts getting bumpy. It does get a little bumpy down toward 14, 15 inches because your shoulder's taking all the pressure. It's not the fact that you've added any length to the bar. This isn't that long. Let's see. It's only 16 inches long. So you haven't added any great leverage out here. What you've done is you've put this in your hand and it's underneath your forearm. You tuck it in and you let your shoulder. The pressure is going to be up against your arm, pushing your shoulder up. So your shoulder takes the pressure, which I've had some pretty good catches. I haven't had to have surgery on my shoulder yet, but I'm careful. But just freehand, just like I was doing it right there. You can do hardwood. You can go 10 inches in hardwood. You just don't get in a hurry. That's one thing, hollowing deep. You never get in a hurry. Never. There's nothing that important. Do a little bit, go take a break. Do a little bit each night till it's done. Now if it's green wood, you're kind of stuck. It's go for it and you got to get it done. Because it's going to start drying, warping. You go to turn your steady rest on and it thumps like two flat tires. You're not going to be able to hollow the rest of it out. So if you're working with green wood, it's a go for thing. You start hollowing. If the house catches fire, just tell the wife, call 911, and you just keep hollowing till you get it done. Otherwise, it's going to warp and you'll never finish it. We haven't had a fire here, but we've had cut fingers and people at the door, and I just keep hollowing. The wife owns protection. I'm not worried. So yeah, that's it. If you have any other questions, you can find me on one of the main wood turning groups, or you can ask me through the comment section of the Facebook. I'll do my best to answer everybody's questions if I can. Add any pictures if necessary. I'll have at it. Good luck.